Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Minister, for being here. But I just want to pick up on something you said to MP Sohi. You were talking about the temporary population, and did I hear you say that it's going to be 2029 before we see 5% of the population?
I believe that's the Francophone target, 2029. So, thank you for that. The 5%, 2027. Thank you for that. Actually, thank you for that.
Which, if you don't mind, brings up another question I think we're all curious about. The levels plan is due on 2 days from now. I'm wondering, when will you be tabling that in Parliament?
Okay. Yes, thank you for that question. So the Prime Minister last week indicated that the immigration levels planning will be part of the budget that will be tabled November 4th.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Now, to Bill C-12, it creates a new regulatory making authority in Section 87. Of the Immigration and Refugee Protection Act. Essentially, it gives Cabinet the power to cancel immigration applications and documents en masse. Obviously, this provision was added to be used. So which applications do you plan on canceling?
So what I could tell you is the legislation was not drawn with that in mind at all. So in terms of canceling anything specific.
Okay, so just hold on then.
Please, yeah, go ahead.
So you created a new section, went through a lot of work to put this new law into the regulations with no intention of ever using it?
Oh, I'm not saying it will never be used. That's why it's there, but it wasn't created with that intention. It came out of COVID, quite frankly, and these were previously tabled or brought in as part of the 2024 levels. So this is not new. It's been public for for more than a year now.
Okay, so
but it's yes. Go ahead.
So on September 23rd, your own official was here at this committee talking about this new power, and he said that it would allow mass cancellations, and he said, quote, for instance, issuing fraudulent visas, we would want to mass cancel those, end quote. So if you had this power today, would you recommend canceling permits for phony asylum claimants?
So, look, that certainly would be a measure that I would, as the minister, be able to make recommendation on, but would have to go to government and council for them to, agree with me, and then reasoning would be so now we can do things on a case-by-case approach. So the reason these are brought in is for trying to deal with public interest with, whether it's a health matter or a safety, national security, large-scale fraud.
So, Minister,
yes.
if you don't mind, would you agree with your official that this authority should be used to cancel the permits of asylum claimants who are here fraudulently?
Again, part of these would be used for large-scale fraud purposes.
Okay, so you have put some thought into how this would be used then. So what are some other situations where you would use this mass canceling ability?
So again, I will answer where I started. They are not designed to block people in need of protection from accessing the asylum system.
So who exactly is it designed to block then?
People that are going to be committing large-scale fraud, safety reasons, public interest reasons, and those reasons would have to be. Before the powers are used, they would be transparent because they would have to be told to the public, to the Canadian public.
So do you have some examples of those that you've talked about in your department?
Quite frankly, yeah. If you go back to COVID, there's a lot of things that had this legislation been there that could have been done differently.
Like what, for example?
Like stopping the intake of all the applications that were coming in, as an example.
1 minute.
Okay.
Which we don't have the power to do.
So all the applications would have been shut down, is what you're saying?
Well, it's what, and so the inventory kept going, but we were not able to bring anyone in. And as a result of that surge, that's what happened after COVID. That's part of what we're living today.
So we have a similar problem now where we have nearly 300,000 asylum claims, so a surge of inventory, as you would say. Is that the method you're going to use to get rid of that massive amount of asylum claims?
Again, they're not designed to block people that are coming here that are in need of safety. What they're designed for is to block groups of individuals that are really committing fraud.
Like 300,000 asylum claims? Should they be worried, the people in that pool?
So they're not going to give the government any new powers. to cancel asylum claims or affect an individual's status.
Pardon me, but this doesn't actually give you any new powers? Is that what you're saying, this section of the law?
Gives
Why
government
is it there?
powers, but not on an individual one-on-one basis, because that power already exists.
So why is
It's
this- why is
it's
this
for
even-
large scale
Thank you, Mr. Redekop. Thank you.
applications.
Yes. Minister, do you agree with your predecessor that the United States, a G7 country, is a safe third country for the purposes of asylum claimants? Yes or no?
So the advice I've received is that it is.
So you do agree. Do you agree that other G7 and developed EU nations are presumptively safe democracies? Yes or no?
Look, I'm here to talk about C12.
Well, so am I. That's why I'm here as well. Thank you.
So we
Thanks for
share
letting me
with
know
with the 5 countries all kinds of information when we screen applicants. That's part of the screening processes.
So you agree that they are presumptively safe democracies as well?
Well,
G7 and EU.
we
I'm
work
talking
with the
about
with the
G7 and EU
I5
nations.
countries.
G7 and EU countries was the questions.
Well, again, I can, we can go to global affairs if you like more detailed answer on that one.
Does C12 bar asylum claims from safe G7 and EU jurisdictions, like we have barred claims from the United States?
Well, we have an agreement with the United States because we share the largest land border with them.
No,
So
I understand. But C12 doesn't have asylum claim, doesn't bar asylum claims from G7 and EU countries. You would, I mean, anybody could argue that a G7 or EU country has a judicial system on par with Canada. Yes, would you agree with that? Yes or no?
again, we work with all the G7 countries, of course, throughout.
Wouldn't it be helpful to have this power written into the legislation?
Again, you are here to, this is a study that the committee's doing, and, you're free to make recommendations.
Well, you're the
if-
minister. We only get you here for 2 hours. I'm asking you what you think. Do you not
appreciate
agree
you
that
want
we
me
should be
longer,
putting- do you not agree that we should be we should be also looking at G7 and EU nations the same way we look at the United States?
So,
They are safe countries.
so claiming asylum
Democracies?
doesn't guarantee the right to stay in Canada. They still have to prove a well-founded, claim for fear, persecution, et cetera, and and it's on
But
an
you have-
individual case by
You have a
case.
huge backlog, Minister. You said you wanted to, you want to reduce bogus claims. I mean, the bogus, can anybody come up with a better argument than it's a bogus claim if you want to come here from Portugal or England or Greece? Democracies like ours around the world have judicial systems?
So again,
Okay, so you don't
Mr.
wanna
My
do that,
member,
clearly.
it is a case-by-case approach.
Okay. On mass calculations, cancellations, Minister, are you saying that you want to punish victims of fraud?
My IRCC is not here to punish anybody. We're not the court, nor are we the enforcement section of the land. I mean, that's why you have policing, you have provincial jurisdictions that administer
But
the
here's who you
justice
are.
system and
Here-
policing, and we
here's-
have CBSA as well
Here's who
in
you are,
terms of
Minister.
deportation.
Here's who you are. You are a minister of the Crown that is responsible for IRCC. That
Correct.
is responsible for the immigration system in this country. That you are also part of a government that has abysmally failed Canadians on the immigration file. If one looks just at the backlogs, the number of people, and good people, waiting to get responses when all of our offices are inundated across the country, you have a backlog. And we're giving you suggestions on how you can improve that backlog.
All
Simply
suggestions
take
and
away-
helpful comments are very much.
Well, you haven't proven that, with all due respect.
Well, I mean,
On a
the committee's
on a
here to
previous
give
study,
recommendations.
We passed amendments in this committee that you managed to discuss with your
1
good
minute.
friends from the NDP, and you're going to vote those amendments down, Minister. Your record, personally, and the record of your predecessors, is that you ignore any amendments that come from other members of Parliament. Well, I have news for you and your government. We are all elected to represent Canadians, not just you. So when we
Absolutely,
pass
you are
amendments in this
correct. I am a
committee, it's
member
your
of Parliament just
responsibility
like
to
you
listen.
and everyone else,
Okay,
and we
but you-
all have one voice.
We're making suggestions to you.
In
We're talking
Parliament.
about G7 countries, we're talking about EU countries. And it's ridiculous to assume that they should not be treated the same way we'll be treating people coming in from the United States. You wouldn't agree with that?
Again, asylum claimants are treated on a case-by-case approach.
Do you know how many asylum claimants are in this country that have a criminal record? That's been reported here by officials to this committee in this session. Asylum claimants have criminal records.
Again, that's why we have the enforcement section.
You have the enforcement
And we
section?
have policing.
How many people are in the country right now that you let in that have
Thank you,
criminal
Mr.
records?
Menegakis. Thank you, Minister Diab. Then